everyone. This is another episode of Sports 360 with Bolaji, and we're going to talk about the Olympics. The Olympics is going to end tomorrow, the 2024 Paris Olympics. Yes, that's the right word. And we're going to share our experiences, the downs, the highs, and the low points of the Olympics, how we have enjoyed it, what happened. And I'm bringing three of my friends today to share what they experienced, how they really enjoyed the Olympics. First of all, I'm going to welcome Olushola Taiwo. Shola, how are you today? I know you are calling from Windsor. How are you? What's happening with you today? What's up? How many events have you watched so far after our last podcast?
Oh, I'm just happy to be here. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for convening the group. Much appreciated. I've watched tons of events, relays, 10,000 meter races. I've watched 200-meter finals, hurdles, you name it. Even javelin, long jump, shot put. I've been binging every day after work. I'm not going to bed until after 12 midnight. It's good. It's all
That's nice. Taufik, what of you? Which ones have you watched after our last meeting? Because I enjoyed so many races and competitions. Taufik, can you tell us what you've enjoyed so far, these Olympics?
Well, right from the moment that Nigeria has not been doing well, I've been a bit down. So I wouldn't lie to you. I've not even watched any event since our last podcast because I had a funny feeling that the pressure might be too much on, what's her name? Toby. And she lived up to the deal like I expected. She didn't qualify for the finals. So, but the good thing about it was that young boy that made the 400 meters final. To me, is a medal hope. And that alone is the success of this Paris Olympics. Thank you.
Okay. I know you are trying to save your heart. You don't want to have any blood pressure. I know. Robert Olimene, welcome. Oh, did I welcome Taufik? Yeah, Taufik, I welcome you once again. Robbie.
There's no need. I welcome myself.
That's why I like this program. We can make errors, we can banter, we can just relax. I mean, we're just relaxing and sharing with the audience how we feel, no pretense, nothing. This is real. We are real and we can make fun of each other. That's fine. Robbie, how about you? So let me start before Robbie gets back. Shola, how is it? How are you?
I'm just happy.
And tell us what you want us to talk about, what you really want to talk about. So continue.
I want to comment with my brother in Nigeria first of all. Sorry. But you know what? There's actually something that really happened that you missed out on while you were sad and not watching Nigeria. History was made. For the first time in history, 3 Nigerian women.
Yeah, long jump. Yeah. I remember that. Yes, I did remember that.
Let's count our blessings.
I agree with you, Shola. I agree with you completely.
All right.
That was a good thing.
Yes, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, that's nice. So, Shola, can you talk about that 100 4x100 relay? I know you are so excited for that.
Okay. It was an epic moment. It was one of the highlights of the Olympic for me. Here's why. 28 years ago, at the Summer Olympics in Atlanta, Canada's men's relay team with Donovan Bailey, Bernie Surin, Robert Esme, and there was a fourth person, Glenroy Gilbert, who actually is the current coach of the relay team. These 4 guys made history. They smashed and they won so well. They were amazing. Now, 28 years later, we are repeating that and getting a gold medal with a completely different team of men. Why it was so special for me, it was a full circle moment because 28 years ago, I had a major surgery. I was homebound, a major abdominal surgery, and the only thing that made me happy was Olympics at that moment, and I was watching. So it just gave me so much joy because they didn't qualify in the individual events. Our guy, oh my gosh, how can I forget? Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did not qualify, in 100 meters. He didn't make it in the 200s. He's so good. He's such a great athlete. And then Aaron false started in the 100 meters. So he didn't get to go. So now these guys, oh my gosh, I was just so happy. I was so happy. Their baton exchanges were flawless. As compared with the American, they have been besieged with messy exchanges. And that is so sad. Their women, on the other hand, was something else. So that's all I want to know. Don't joke. But there was something else. Africa was represented. Our brothers represented the continent. Our South African brothers. They did us proud. And I was so happy that they won the silver medal and we had Africans on the stage. I was very, very happy about that.
Thank you so much, Shola. I know everybody was wondering. Everybody, I know you're wondering about where I got my gold medal from. That is from the 4x100 meters relay, and I rang the bell. And also, I got the silver medal from the African Tobago with the 200 meters for the 200 meters race, because everybody thought Noalize was going to win that race. People gave it to him, just like the 4x100. They gave it to the US. It was like a done deal. But now I got my gold from the Canadian team, and I got my this is my gold, and I got my silver from Tobago. That was a very, very 200-meter race. Wonderful. I mean, I was the expectation was different what I expected. Okay.
Madam Janet Oguleye, where is your gold from short put, man?
Yeah, no, don't worry. That was the German. The German girl.
Germany.
I thought you were the German girl that won the gold for the short put, man.
But we won for I think, was it short put or discus that Canada won again, the gold. That was a gold we won for the field. I'll get it back. I'll get the win back.
To come back to Nigeria.
Yeah.
He wants
I think it was discus. Oh no, hammer throw.
He wants you to forget about all those ones and come back to Yemisi Oguleye, because if you're going to be wearing medals, he wants you to include. If I'm wearing a medal for a Botswana athlete, he's wondering where is your medal for a Nigerian athlete that's running for Germany.
Okay.
Thank you, Shola.
Yes,
Kudos to you.
I
Thanks
got
very much.
I got you.
Thank you.
She's speechless.
Okay, Taufik, so far, I know that you've made fun of my medals. That's what I think. But all the same, please just what do you think about the Nigerian team and everything as a whole? Because zero medal for now is zero. So what do you think?
Well, basically, like Shola said, we need to count our blessings. Yes, we didn't get any medal, but we were able to do some things. Our expectations were too high for a team that did not practice enough. You can't be doing the same thing the same way year in, year out and expect different results. This fire brigade approach, we've been saying it for long, that it's not going to get us anywhere. These athletes now, after these Olympics, for the next 4 years, they train on their own. Nigeria doesn't remember them. If Olympics could be contested on an individual basis, Nigeria will hardly have any athletes except home-based ones.
Yeah.
I can't go to America and use all my money to train myself, only for my country to take the glory.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter whether you get injured and they remember you. But like Shola said, 3 finalists in long jump, 1 finalist in 400 meters, baby steps. Maybe we need, but Robbie mentioned something that was very, very important. Our sports associations, how we elect the leaders, need to be reviewed seriously. Because we've not seen any changes in the past 20 years. It's always the same approach. I got the impression as if it's the same person that has been there all along. No. Maybe every 4 years, 6 years, they change, they do elections, but we don't see any difference. There are no plans. Until we go back to secondary school sports, children's sports, we will continue having the same problem. When we go on to secondary school sports, we can raise home-based athletes that can even go out and make a name for themselves. Because over the years, secondary school, university, they grew gradually. We used to have NUGA or West African University Games. All those things, are they still active? Well, I think you were one of those active players in the NUGA Games. Many centuries ago.
No, I don't want to tell my story again. You want to listen to get my story?
No, even if you don't tell it, I know your story. You were part of NUGA.
Yeah.
So all these things needs to be revived. Without that, we will continue having the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to hear about the Nigerian University Games, which you.
Okay, the one I did, I took back in judo. Sorry, I said judo.
And what university did you represent?
Ife, Unife, and that was 86 Nuga. It was so funny. I mean, it's a funny story. Let's wait. I'll tell the story at the end of the broadcast, at the end of the podcast. Welcome back, Robert. Please, can you give us your opinion about this Olympics? Generally, the Olympic is ending tomorrow. So tell us your opinion.
I think for the Olympics, it has been a successful tournament generally, except for maybe a couple of controversies here and there. And those controversies more or less came from the sport of boxing, because there was a boxer from Algeria who was alleged, or in this case, perceived to be a man. And of course, she competed in the women's division. She ended up winning gold for Algeria yesterday. And well, for the boxer, she's very happy at what she has done at the Olympics. But the controversies in the early stages of that event was just something that more or less was just the lowest point of that particular one. I think aside that, generally it's been a very, very successful tournament, and in this case competition, if you actually want us to call it that. Moving to other nations, I think the rivalry between US and China is something that is very, very interesting to see on the medal table, most especially. They've been changing, or they've been swapping places as regards to the first position, second position since a couple of days ago. The last time I checked, it was China who are on top. They have the most medals in terms of gold, and that is the most important thing that counts when it comes to the Olympics. For US, in terms of volume, they have more medals in terms of volume, but they are about 3 golds off pace with China. So between today and tomorrow, I believe that both nations should swap places. And of course, talking about the top 10 or the top 6 in this case, you have Great Britain, you have Canada, you have Australia, and you have France, the host. So for France, who have hosted this tournament, and looking at the fact that they spent about 10 billion euros to host the Olympics, I think this is money well spent for them, because they have at least about 4 or 5 gold medals, and in volume or in total they have about 15 medals overall, and I think that is very, very good investment for them overall. Once the Olympic is done and dusted with, the stadiums, the pitches, the courts that were more or less in this case, let me say, constructed for the Olympics, will go a long way to also strengthen the foothold of sports in that country for years to come. The stadiums will be used by football teams in this case. The courts will be used by basketball clubs, teams, as well as those who are in the educational sector, and so on and so forth. So I think generally it is very good money for them. It also sows that seed of sporting excellence in the country, and of course for future generations to come. And just capital, I would end with Nigeria, because I will say I am not more or less like in the same line or pedestal as regards what Taufik said. For Nigeria, I will not say that it was more or less a case of too much expectation. This is not Nigeria's first rodeo at the Olympics. Nigeria has been at the Olympics over 10 times. I think Nigeria has been to the Olympics about 17 times. So if I expected the nation to come back with as little as 5 medals overall, maybe 2 golds, 2 silver, 1 bronze, or maybe 1 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze, I really don't think it is too much to ask of this contingent. And looking at the kind of money that Nigeria pumps into sports, the sports in this nation is not where it should be because of a whole lot of dynamics that plays out in the sports industry. And we're really not expatiate on that right now, because that's not what we're talking about. But overall, looking at the kind of talent that we have in this contingent that went to the Olympics, you have Kotri Aruno in table tennis, you have Esebrume in long jump, you have Tobi Amuso, that is in athletics, you have Adekunroye, that is in wrestling, you have the women's football team as it is. Those people or those athletes should at least be able to bring something home for the nation. But it looks like the general body language in camp is just go to the World Cup, spend government money, which is more or less free money, and just enjoy yourself. You get to wear the green, white, green, your name gets to be penciled down as an Olympian, just like my mom was during that time, and everybody just goes home happy as if nothing happened. So I think for Nigeria, we really need to do more going forward if we want to actually erase this very, very bad memory or bad outing at the next Olympics. That is just my submission. Thank you.
Okay, I think you're passionate about it. It's not just because I know your mom was an Olympian. So, but I know it's his mom was one of those that represented Nigeria in was it Montreal Olympics or so. So we'll come back to that. So, Shola, what do you think about the hurdles? Because we missed the men hurdles and the 400-meter hurdles. I know that you are so passionate about swimming and
swimming is over.
And track, yes, and track. So that's why I want us to talk about track.
Oh, the 400-meter hurdle, that was phenomenal. What I really, really, really loved about the hurdles was that the same guys that were 1, 2, 3 this year were also the same guys that were the top 3 at the last Olympics. And so they had a rivalry going on, and they wanted to see who would beat the other person. Rai Benjamin from the USA took it this time, but the Norwegian guy, Karsten Warholm, he won it last time. So he now came second this time. So they swapped places. But truly, truly, my favorite was actually the Brazilian, Dos Santos. He dyed his hair purple to match the track and the scenery at the stadium. he was a joy to watch. He was calm, he was relaxed, he with the fans, he was taking pictures with them, taking their phone, taking selfies together with them, celebrating. He was just happy. And I listened to the commentators talk about how kind of a person he is. So it was really beautiful, and he was grateful. You could see, because after I watched this, because I actually watched it twice, the 400-meter hurdle. After I watched it, I went back on YouTube and I then watched the one they did in Tokyo, and I watched the guys again. Same thing. There was Dos Santos, even though he came third, he was truly a sportsman. He congratulated his teammates, he was nice to them, and he was celebrating with them and with the crowd. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That's lovely. Yes, I watched it too. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I know. So I'll go back to you, Robbie, again. My experience with the match today between US and Brazil. I was rooting partially for Brazil because US has won it so many times, and I wanted Mata to win. But Brazil played very well in the first half, but the second half they were shut down. USA scored one goal and then shots whatever move Brazil had in the second half. So what do you think we can learn from this, Robert, concerning our own team, the Nigerian team, that we lost all our matches?
Okay, first and foremost, let us hold ourselves to a higher standard. It is not just about qualifying. What is the essence of entering for a tournament? It is not just to go there and mark register. It is to go there, get enough experience, even if not at the first time of asking, but to go back second time, third time to win that particular tournament. The last time Nigeria won gold in the men's football event was 1996. 1996 till now, how many times have Nigeria been back at the football event for the Olympics? Yes, Nigeria won silver, or was it bronze with Mikel Obi? But away from that, for US, from the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the finals, the match they played today, they've won all those three games by the margin of just a lone goal. In fact, their quarterfinal game went into extra time against Japan. Their semi-final game went into extra time against Germany. And today, the ladies made sure that the game did not drag on into extra time, and they won by just a lone goal. What can Nigeria learn? What can Nigeria learn is so much from the performances of the ladies. One, the quality of the kind of coach we employ is a reflection on how the team plays. No disrespect to Randy Wardrobe, who is an American, but he does not even coach a club side in the US. He's more or less like, should I say, a university coach. Like I said, no disrespect to him whatsoever. Now, you're bringing a university coach to more or less like tutor or handle the highest women's team in Nigeria. Please, it's just more or less like you asking, should I say, the secondary school student to tackle a part 4 or a 400 level question at the university level. So the comparisons really do not match each other. So going forward, the kind of caliber of coach we employ must be commensurate with the kind of talents that we have at the national team. Secondly, we really need to get the best out of our players. The national team is not a retirement home where ladies, in this case the Falcons, or the men, in this case the Super Eagles, just come, wear the jersey, take pictures, and of course pose and play whatever it is that is in their minds, and they run back to their clubs. Your country is a place where you give your best, your absolute best. We see players cry for their country. We see players go the extra mile for their country. I am not absolving the authorities also of their own lack of due diligence to what these players also need. So I guess going forward, looking at what the US have done, they brought back Emma Hayes. Emma Hayes was somebody who was formerly with the English Three Lionesses, and we saw the amazing things she did with the English national team. US said, this is the woman we want because we know she can take us to the next level. And the next level began today when the women's national team won a gold medal. I cannot even remember the last time the US men's team won a gold medal. I cannot even remember the last time they qualified for the Olympic event. At the next Olympic event, they will play because they are the host. And I can guarantee you that the men will not make it to the finals because they don't have what it takes like these ladies do.
Anything can happen in the next 4 years.
Can we take a bet?
I can tell you that. Yes, I would boldly take that bet. I will boldly take, if I will take this one, US men will not win gold. Okay. US men will not win gold in LA in 2028. The reason is the caliber of the nations that you have right now, who are the powerhouses in sport or who are powerhouses in football, we will not go to sleep between now and that time frame. And let us not forget that when it comes to football over the world, Europe is still the bedrock of football across the globe. The current world champions right now is the European team. The current European champion is also an European team, in this case, Spain. And the current world champion is from South America. That is Argentina. The current European champion is Spain. Talking about Spain, Spain won the men's Euro, the men's Euro championship this year. Spain won the women's Euro championship last year. Spain won the under 20 women's World Cup. Spain won the under 17, under 19.
That's what I'm saying.
The under 19 championship. So it just tells you that as it is going into the next Olympics, Nigeria really needs to get its house in order, put the right people in this position, make sure that whatever arrangements that we have in terms of getting very good leaders elected into sports federation are realized as fast as possible.
I was following football heavily back in the day in the 90s, and I do remember that 1996 Atlanta game. Yes. To both of you, was it not the time when we had the likes of Amokachi,
Austin Okocha, Celestine Babayaro.
Okay, great. Where are those guys today? I'm just curious in terms of mentoring the next generation, coaching, because they've been there. They know what it takes to get there. I'm just curious. Where are they?
Okay,
can you answer that? Then I'll add to it.
Answer that. For Samson Siasia, he's a coach in Nigeria, but currently is serving a FIFA ban. Don't worry, like I said, we'll talk about that one another day. For Austin Eguavon is the technical director of the NFF. And of course, sometimes he takes up coaching roles. For Emmanuel Amunike is a coach currently in Nigeria. He's handling one of the league teams set to start with when the NPFL starts, that is at the end of this month. Then for Celestine Babayaro, he's really not doing much as regards sport at the moment. I think he has his businesses he's taking care of. Then for I'm not sure if Muti Adepoju played in that team, but I think Muti Adepoju is with a club here in Ibadan. Then lastly, that is Finidi George. Finidi George is also a coach in the Nigerian league.
Few over 23 players.
Yeah.
So Muti wasn't.
Yeah. So Finidi George is with a league side right here in Nigeria. Then Kanu Wako is into sports administration. He's also with a league side here in Nigeria. So that is just a few names I can just talk about.
I was just asking. I'm good.
Yeah. And then frustrations even from the administration sometimes. And the cry from sports fans or Nigerians that cry when if a coach is performing below par. Oh, we don't want a Nigerian coach anymore. When the foreigner is performing below expectation, we want Nigerian coach. So I don't understand why. Maybe it's all over the world, that kind of thing. Maybe Taufik can add to that. I mean, when he was asking about all those things.
Because when Robert was talking about the poor performance of Nigerian footballers at this world stage, I just asked him, and he talked, the reference the Atlanta 1996 squad, that won gold, men's football. I just asked a simple question of where are the members of that gold winning squad in terms of mentoring the next generation and helping up and coming and being in positions where they can actually influence since they've been there and they know what it takes. That was all. And he just gave us a summary of where each person is today, what he knows that they're doing. And that was it. I was just asking a question, but yeah.
Sophie, can you add to what Robbie said about the administration?
You see, basically, the problem we have with coaching in Nigeria is that those in administration who employ the coach always have ulterior motives. They will never give us the best. They want coaches that they can get kickbacks from, mediocres. A world-class coach will not agree to that for you. If you are paying him $50,000 per month, he's collecting the whole $50,000. Not that he'll be telling the world he's collecting $50,000 and you're giving him 20, and officials are sharing the remaining $30,000. That has been the case with Nigeria. Okay. Sometimes they will talk to high-class coaches, and somewhere along the line they will draw back again. It is things like that. We're going to pay you 50. We're going to tell the world we're paying you 50, but you're collecting 25. The remaining 25 is for the boys. We've had Nigerian coaches that have done a bit okay outside the country, but we don't give them a chance. And sometimes when they bring them in, we run into a problem of trying to tell them what to do because they are Nigerians. You don't tell a foreign coach, if he doesn't perform, you sack him. But until the time you sack him, you give him the free hand to do his work. We don't do that with Nigerian coaches. We tell him who and who to call for training. We tell him who and who to put in the list of those that are going for a competition. We balance it up. You are picking somebody from each geopolitical zone, whether he knows how to play football or not. It's zone. He has to represent his zone. He can be there with the team. He doesn't have to be in the match, but his people will know that we also put them into consideration. Until we drop things like that, we are not moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Taufik. Let me quickly ask before you, Shola, because I have a question for you. Robbie, what do you have to? I don't want to talk about the issue so that we'll say it and it's done now. Robbie, what do you want to add to that?
What I just want to add is the fact that for Nigeria, we really need to get serious. We believe so much that the heavens, in this case, will more or less just wave a magic wand, and the problems of the nation just practically or mysteriously or magically disappears. And that is just not how it is done. And I ask this question for nations in Africa, for nations across the world who make progress every day, they don't just go on their knees and pray. And that is one ideology that has been hammered into the heads of almost every Nigerian walking on the streets. Because if you ask somebody, okay, what do you think about this thing that is bad? The next thing that falls out of the mind is, God help us. And the truth is, you just can't keep on saying this. What things go bad and not act. So I guess for Nigeria overall, we really need to act as a nation. If we actually want the best in terms of results, in terms of performances, we need to put the house in order, as well as get the best hands on board, not just in football, but across all sports. And of course, we'll see the changes.
Thank you, Robbie. Now, Shola, now to you. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
I was just excited about an event that I watched that may not be the most popular event, but it was the men's javelin finals. Yeah, and it was between India and Pakistan. And for those who know the history of India and Pakistan, when England partitioned them, and in 1946, and the riots and the killings, and they've been arch rivals and enemies. In fact, if you watch Bollywood movies or Indian films, Hindi films, you would see that constantly there's a battle. It's like USA and USSR, or which is now the Soviet Union, which is now Russia, which is now Russia. They're like that. They've been arch rivals, arch enemies. But the previous winner at the last Olympics, right, was Chopra, and Chopra won the gold in the javelin. Well, guess what? This time it was Pakistan. Yes, and Nadim Arshad Nadim won for Pakistan. But what I liked about these guys is there's still a camaraderie between them, even though their nations are arch enemies and arch rivals. There was a camaraderie between these two guys. He and the way Nadim won this gold medal, he obliterated the previous Olympic record. It was 90.57 meters. He threw that javelin to 92.97 meters. By almost 2.5 meters, he canceled the last record. And he was humble and calm about it. He wasn't braggadocious at all. Yeah, there was something about the javelin guys and the shot putters that
the fields guys, there's this camaraderie between them, hugging each other, and I noticed that. I was going to mention that. That's true.
Yeah, there's a respect about them. So yes, I just wanted to point out that I just felt that they were classy about how they handled it, even though they were representing nations that oppose each other heavily, and they make mega blockbuster movies about their rivalry. Yeah.
I would like you to further say some things about Canada, about the medals, and we have 8 gold medals. And when I mean we Canadians, and then I'll talk about we Nigerians too. We have 8 gold medals from Katie Vincent. From Keno Spring. Yes, from judo, from amateur men and women. That one, I'm shocked that how can Canadians throw hammer that much?
Never diverse. Yeah, well, I didn't watch most of these events, but what I can say is that Canada has been doing very well. And I know you would probably do better in giving us that panoramic view of how amazing Canada has done at the Olympics. But what I do want to say is that I am truly, truly grateful and proud of these athletes that have gone to represent us. And the thing with Canada, most of them, they're not full-time athletes. They're actually working jobs because we don't have that kind of financial investment into our athletics industry and into the Olympic athletes. We don't have that kind of investment the way a lot of other countries do in the Western world, not the global South. So therefore, a lot of them, they raise money on their own. A lot of them, their family, their friends help them. Their employers help them. So it's truly spectacular. And this is Summer Olympics. This is not Winter Olympics. Where Canadians shine on the ice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. That's nice. Thank you. Robbie, okay, now it's free for all, whatever you want to say. Because actually, our podcast is just not it's not for us to be professionals, or apart from Robbie that is the sport journalist. It's just for us to banter and have fun and just do something for Olympics. until we start the season and sports season throughout the world, football and other sports. So just Robbie, whatever you have to say, can you say it now before we end this podcast?
Well, all I can say is in my own little of bantering, it looks like United is in for a very, very long season. I was able to quickly get a scoop of the penalty shootout via replay on the screen of a friend, and I'm just asking myself how in God's name has this team been able to more or less record any form of development going into the new season?
Yes, let me come in, please. I don't know whether when I was away you talked about Nigeria's case of putting an athlete for cycling and having no cycle.
No, that one was, they explained. It was explained later.
Explain what? No. What explanation did they give?
That
it takes 2 months. I'm listening. What explanation did they give? That it will take 2 months to get a bike?
For that kind of cycle, it was the outside cycling competition that she was registered for.
Are you telling me the athlete will not know the kind of competition they registered her for?
That one is the excuse that she wasn't supposed to. I think she's a girl, that she wasn't supposed to.
Yes, the money for that bicycle has been chopped. Yes, Shola, go ahead.
Yesterday, my husband told me about some athlete that went to borrow the bicycle of another athlete.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The German team, you registered an athlete for cycling. There was no cycle. No, you gave the athlete no bicycle. The German team, in their magnanimity, gave her one of their bicycles.
They gave an explanation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
they released a statement saying that the lady is not supposed to be in that competition. She wasn't registered for it. She registered because it was indoor cycling. You know that indoor thing, and that she was supposed to do the sprint. Yes, not the sprint one, but the one that the one that you do outside, and that she wasn't registered. So they had the bicycle for that one, but they didn't have the bicycle for the.
Do you
think that's a CYA? Don't you think that's a CYA statement?
CYA.
Cover your ass.
Oh,
I think the athlete doesn't know what event they registered her for. So confused with another. No. That's a CYA statement. We're just trying to cover up. That's a CYA statement.
Yeah, I know, Nigerian. So what do you have to say generally just about this Olympics before we conclude?
So far so good. I'm happy that through the Olympics I'm meeting Shola, another good friend of mine. That's very good. So now we are you.
No, but he's not meeting you. You are the one that brought us together.
Don't mind that. But as far as the competition is concerned, generally it's good. We had fun watching. There were lots of highs and lows. But I believe that the next Olympics will be more interesting than this. The next Olympics will be more interesting.
We must win.
I know.
Yes.
Go in the US. Of course, we all go. We are going together.
Yes, we should go together.
Yes, and then we have Canada and US. They're doing it in Canada.
Oh, okay. So you are our host for that one.
Yes.
I hope I can be around. I hope I can be around then.
Yeah, come. We're inviting you. That's nice.
I'll plan towards that. Thank you.
Okay, that would be lovely. Like my high points, my highs during the Olympics, the 100 meters, I enjoyed it. The swimming, which I didn't watch too many 4 years ago. Before Phelps, I didn't watch many, but during Phelps, I watched a lot. Last year, I didn't watch many, but this year,
I stopped watching after Phelps. I stopped watching.
This year, I watched a lot, and I enjoyed it. The races, the 100 meters, even I watched the 1500, which normally I wouldn't watch.
That was my event.
Yes, I watched all those ones. I didn't watch judo because I quickly cheer my judo next to you.
You're the one that talked about how she represented Ife.
Yes. She was a yoga athlete.
I didn't watch that. I watched field, which I really never watched before. I watched especially the field. Track, so sure. I watched many in the past, but field, I watched the amateur, I watched the discus, I watched the shot put, I watched the climbing, which I never watched before. That was, the American came second. I was just interested. It was on TV, and I just watched it. So it's been a very nice, and I was disappointed with Nigeria football matches, soccer matches, as we call it in North America, because I expected them to perform better because they did well. at the World Cup, Women's World Cup. So I was expecting much more, but it's one of those things. Even our Canadian team, I was expecting more. So that's my Nigerian side, that I was even expecting more from Toby Amoson and other people. I mean, some qualified for the finals, but most of them came seventh in the short sprints and all those ones. So I enjoyed myself. This one I had fun, really fun. I had my time, watched the basketball games, and which I know the US teams would likely win. The men, they struggled the last game, but they still won. And the women, which I feel is a done deal. And I am impressed too with the Nigerian team. So that my Nigerian side, I like the way the Nigerian team, they were beaten, of course, by the US team. But everything is nice.
They lost honorably.
Yes, to the US team in the quarterfinal. So
that alone was another hidden medal for me. A lot of people were expecting a whitewash.
Yeah. So, like, some parts of the competition, I enjoyed it because Canada won, and some parts I wish Nigeria had won. But the part of me that wants Nigeria to win is not too disappointed, because I believe we'll do better next time. Just I will say now. And now to my my Nuga games, I'll just tell you a brief. It won't be as nice as I would have loved to really explain that. Maybe I'll do another one. We'll do another podcast for that. But
I participated in back in the day.
Yes, in judo, and I participated in the freestyle. I was less than 70 kilograms. I participated, the free weight, and they now paired me with one big woman. The woman was, I can't remember, maybe 200 and something kilograms. I wish I had the pictures. We didn't take pictures then.
And so what happened?
Immediately, they said we should start the fight. The woman just used one leg. I'm sorry, audience. I can't stop laughing. It wasn't funny, man.
What did she do?
Oh, swiped my feet. Tackled me.
And she cleared your feet from underneath.
Yes, from the ground. I went down. What else? And she now.
That's on you.
Right on top of you.
Yes, on top of me. She couldn't sit. Yes. On top of me. And I was struggling. No, it's not my fault. I just joined judo team because I could hold people. And I was struggling. You just try to struggle. She said, if you move, I will kill you.
That's it.
I just stayed because my parents didn't know I was at the games. I just came because I knew I'll get free food, and then I'll be able to get free ride home and see my friends and all that. So I said, I must not die. I was young. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Like I said, this is just us just having fun. It's not a serious matter. We're just bantering. Even if we made mistakes or gaffed or anything, we just having a nice time. I hope the audience too, you enjoy yourself.
It's the gaps and the mistakes that makes it more interesting.
Yes. That makes us so cool. Yes, thank you.
When we are relaxed and we are free bantering, that's when it brings out the best in us.
You got it. We're on the same page.
Yes.
You got it.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope the audience
Absolutely. Adi, absolutely.
Yes. Until the next time when I call you and when we meet, have a great day and keep supporting sports. We'll do
Namaste.
Namaste. We'll do better next time. Thank you.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye, Shola.
So nice.
Bye, Shola. Bye, Bolaju.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.